Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai. As Africans, do we have solutions to pandemics and diseases? Have we written our own histories or stories about outbreaks of diseases and how curative measures have been given to them in Africa? Or do we always rely on the first and second world countries for solutions? Welcome to Spectacle, your socio-political and economic program on television Nigerian. I am Daniel Atar, and this morning we will be going vividly as part of Africa's solution for COVID-19, and we'll be introducing and unveiling to you African method, holistic method of fighting diseases and pandemics such as COVID-19. And I will be introducing to you African researcher, a trado-herbal researcher in the studio. He has once been here, and a biochemist who also promises to deal with the topic on discussion. And for your information, we'll be discussing ESOMARON as possible solution for COVID-19. Please stay tuned. After this timeout, I'll be with you.
The issue here we have to begin to look at is that at the time of independence, I don't know if there was a trajectory to where we are going to.
How could it be that credible, free and fair under manual conduct of election?
That is where our problem lies, and that is why people are now saying that, advising that we should move, that the world has gone into digital. We should move from the manual to the digital.
We cannot keep doing same thing and expecting a different result.
The only way you create jobs from your ministry is that you have to encourage local content.
If you look at the profile of Sally Mama,
there is a caveat in this leave given to him. He should seek medical help if he's fine.
Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria.
This is not the first time our land has been plagued with a pandemic or an epidemic. One thing history has taught us is that a time like this would come, but we will definitely overcome and survive the situation. The 1918 influenza pandemic was one of the most deadly in world history. It was caused by an H1N1 virus with a gene of avian origin. It spread worldwide between 1918 and 1919. The total number of deaths of the pandemic was at least 50 million worldwide. The influenza hit Lagos on the 14th of September 1918. Lagos lost 1.5% of 81,941 population in the first 2 months of the outbreak, according to the British Public Record Service of 1919. In no time, the virus spread to Abeokuta, Ibadan, Ilorin, Bida, Jeba, Zaria, Kano, and Bauchi due to the movement of people from affected areas to non-affected areas. On October 14, 1918, the flu was detected in Onitsha, where a large number of people got infected and died due to the virulent nature of the virus, with insufficient health care to combat it. By December 1918, it spread all over the country. By mid-1919, the pandemic came to an end, as those who had been infected either died or developed immunity against the virus. In 1897, the coastal town of Ekpe, near Lagos, was hit with a severe case of smallpox epidemic. Dr. Oguntola Sakpara Williams, the first native appointed assistant surgeon, rose to the occasion by curbing the epidemic through an unorthodox way. While at his posting at Ekpe, Sakpara took the unorthodox step of joining the local smallpox cult with the motive of understanding their operations and eventually terminating the activities which he then suspected was not helping the small community. The Witchcraft and Juju Ordinance in 1917 made the worship of Shopono, the Yoruba god of smallpox, a crime punishable by fine and imprisonment. Let's not forget the widespread epidemic of leprosy in the entire stretch of Egbaland between 1857 and 1859. This led to the establishment of the first hospital in Nigeria by Reverend Father Cookwood of the Catholic Church in Abeokuta. The hospital was the first set up as a world-class healthcare and research center then. The hospital, known as the Sacred Heart Hospital, still stands today at Itesi in Abeokuta. The current COVID-19 pandemic is just a phase. Let's maintain good hygiene system. Stay indoors, wash your hands, stay informed, don't panic, and in no time this is going to be over. Nigeria go survive.
Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai. Yeah, you're welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that brief video as a footage for Abatoria. Now, we have to go straight on holistic approach for COVID-19 in Africa. We have to write our own story. We also have to profile our own solution to the world. Of recent, the Chinese government gave their own solutions to COVID-19. They say they adopted Avigan and Favipiravir as possible solution, curative solution that has cured and discharged 91% of infected persons in China. In Africa here, particularly Nigeria, we also have people who are good researchers, professors, and institutes of research, medical, herbal research, that are profiled solutions to many diseases, HIV, pneumonia, what have you. Kidney problems, lungs issues, tuberculosis, and so on. So today we are going to be unveiling this particular researcher and his research medicine that NAFDAC and the Ministry of Health is aware of to possibly provide it to Nigerians and to the world as possible solution to COVID-19 and other pandemic or diseases that is troubling mankind. I call it the African solution. With me in the studio, without wasting much time, is Ak Solomon Bola Sabina. You're welcome to Spectacle, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And again, he has somebody again in the studio, a young biochemist, and a graduate of biochemist and a practicing one from the University of Ilorin by the name Michael Miracle Bola Sabina. Michael, you're welcome to Spectacle.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. While he is dealing with ESOMARON, you will be telling us the chemical quantification and analysis, qualification analysis of ESOMARON as possible solution for COVID-19. I hope you are ready.
Yes, I am.
All right. Before we go into it, I want you to watch this documentary on part of his research work that we have gathered so far. It promises to be a very, very interesting one that you would love to watch and have also. And after then, we'll continue the analysis in the studio because the man is right here before you, and the numbers displayed on your screen are the numbers you can also use to reach us if you want to be part of this discussion today on Spectacle Television Nigeria. Please have a watch.
And this
herbal medicine, also known as a tradomedicine, is the study of botany and the use of medicinal plants. Plants have been the basis for medical treatments through much of human history, and such traditional medicine is still practiced today. ESOMA Herbal Institute was established by Solomon Balo Sabina to research into various herbs for the improvement of human health. The Herbal Institute came into full operation on the 20th of March 2000. The Institute, apart from research work, carries out consultation with the aim of administering the products of their research on patients with various ailments.
A researcher into herbs. I'm an architect by profession, but the Nigerian Society of Pharmacognosis saw our work and decided to induct me as a member of Nigerian Society of Pharmacognosis. I believe the only non-pharmacist that is so inducted into that society. We produce or research and produce drugs from here, specifically herbal products, purely herbal. And by the grace of God, they are known to work very fast. Unlike the imported herbal drugs that they will tell you, use plenty before you start feeling the effect. We will tell you here, give us feedback in the next 12 hours maximum. Because our herbal preparation is so strong, and not just strong, it combines well with orthodox drug without any negative effect. It's unique because here we work from answers to the question. When God reveals the answers, we now walk to the question. How can it be? How possible is it? Our herbal preparations have given us edge over known drugs. For example, the first one that came out from here was sickle cell drug, which the government themselves had to carry out some tests on it. And researchers said, if you are on Solamia and still have crisis, please sue the researchers, not the producers. They were so confident of what they have. Our sickle cell drug does not just eliminate the crisis completely. I stand by my word, completely. But it goes further to eliminate anything associated with sickling, like leg ulcer, like fragile loop, and so many other things.
ESOMA Herbal Institute is committed to the belief that evidence-based medicinal plants and botanicals have a major and ever-growing role to play in the lives of Nigerians, particularly in the area of public health. Solomon Balo Sabina, the president and founder of ESOMA Herbal Institute, revealed that his herbal products can cure sickle cell anemia, HIV, and the dreaded coronavirus.
In 2001, during the Abalaka era, we call it Abalaka era, we were the only one given the opportunity of 2 centers. One is in Niprid, and the other one was taken by World Health Organization to Federal Medical Center Makurdi and used it on full-blown AIDS, 10 of them, according to their report. And at the end of it, they all were well below detectable level. I'm quoting their words, which we now call negative. But that of Niprid, the Dr. Ekpenyong, I'm ready to say it as it is, Dr. Ekpenyong at Niprid was busy selling our own product to non-participants, that is those who are not among the decent. The only couple she mistakenly directed, we are not supposed to know them, she mistakenly directed to our place to come and collect blood that there's not enough blood for her there with her. The only couple, they are still alive and healthy till today. And the report Niprid gave then was that our drug, what they discovered was that it increases the viral load and also increases the CD4, which is never possible. It's either your viral load is going up and your CD4 is coming down, or your CD4 is rising and the viral load is coming down. But the report they gave to government, which government didn't even challenge to say, how come? How do you get that type of result? Is that our drug increases both. In fact, Dr. Inyang, the DG then, had to call me because I was not even aware of what was going on there. They had to call me and say, please don't make noise. We'll solve it in-house. But unfortunately, that is what happened. And this, what we are talking about, if it can take care of HIV, which we still use for patients today, we don't make noise. We don't make noise. What I mean, we don't even advertise. We don't. But our drug advertises for us. And because of the sales we are making from the drug that is advertising for us, we are able to put this structure down without, what do you call it? No overdraft, no loan. And by the grace of God, according to NAFDAC that has been coming, officials that have been coming here, they say it's the biggest herbal factory in the Federation.
The Institute has suffered setbacks from the federal government, but he is determined to continue to appeal to Nigerians that a solution to the COVID-19 is not far away from us, but in the plant, called Andrographis paniculata.
We wrote to the former Minister of Health that we have something that is good for cancer. Because when our drug was stopped, because what is the name? WHO wanted to do a clinical trial for this so that Nigeria can be lifted up for the performance of this drug on what they saw at Federal Medical Center Makurdi. But I will say an individual in NAFDAC sat on it because she said she doesn't believe in herbal. When the thing now came to the open, by the time it came to the open, it was already January. The money has been returned. And when it came to the open, at about 11, that's when I got a call from a staff at their Lagos branch. And the staff said, sorry, Pastor, we didn't approve your this thing because my madam said she doesn't believe in herbal. And when I called the WHO, and they called her, in fact, WHO made a statement, said, we will never help Nigeria. I'm bold to say that we will never help Nigeria. And they called her. Before 2 p.m., letter of approval came. What shall we do with it? You see how the letter with us. What shall we do with it? We didn't stop there. We started developing. We're still developing the drug. What next? What next? I reported to the former Minister of Health that, sorry, we have something that could help cancer patients. And the minister said, okay, come and face panel. NAFDAC officials were there too. And I faced the panel and I said, this is how it works. Nobody could ask any question except NAFDAC official that said, ESOMARON, you have this and you didn't bring it for registration and you allow people to die. You may wonder, why didn't I take it for registration? What will I say the drug is doing? NAFDAC will tell you that no.
They don't believe in health. They
don't believe in health. So you say, for example, ESOMARON, immune booster. They are now even arguing that we should remove that word immune booster from it. He didn't tell me directly, he told his staff. It's the staff that called me. So yes. After that, I didn't hear anything from the minister. I now had to compile list of people Thank God we don't have any lab here. We don't have any lab. We have room for lab, but we don't have the equipment. We don't even allow tests here. Go and do your test anywhere. Come to us. When we treat you, go back to anywhere of your choice and give us the result. So that you won't think it's a cooked result we are giving you. So we now compile lists of people who were so affected with cancer, and we sent it to him. Except if we hear an answer today. This man that even wrote that they have a cancer drug for cancer. Let's even write them, because I could remember when this cure for HIV was on. We went to what do you call it, NACA, and we showed them evidences from hospitals of people who became negative. NACA wrote to us and said, wishing you success in your endeavor. That's all NACA said. But unofficially, they direct people to us. Unofficially, their staff direct people to us. You want to get cure, go to ESOMARON.
Since the attention for global funding for international traditional herbal medicine researchers became on the rise, ESOMARON Herbal Institute was one of those research institutes that was eminently qualified to attract the WHO funding in Africa. These unfortunately did not see the light of the day. It was discovered that NAFDAC turned the golden opportunity down, even with all the correspondences to the Secretary to the government of the Federation.
This drug is not just that it will take care of coronavirus. It will boost your immunity. Very fast one. If you think I'm lying, take your CD4 now, and next tomorrow, go and, after you take your CD4 and see the difference. The great difference, I will put it. So, if your immunity is boosted, the virus cannot enter. That is one. Two, if the virus even enters, this drug has antiviral property. International report, it has bacterial properties. It has even the throat, it has everything. In fact, we wrote it there in the letter we sent to the Minister of Health, that this thing contains this and this and this. Because if he thinks we are lying, let him Google. It's not we are not going, you understand? We don't need to go and start from ABC. They have taken us up to, maybe let me call it HND or OND level. Let's start from there. In 2010, Nigeria nominated me to represent the country in India. And what I did was to present paper on the sickle cell. You were wondering. Because the herb I'm even talking about is not an African herb, not to talk less of Nigeria. It's not an African herb. It's herb that is traditional with them. But we've been able to culture it here in Nigeria. You know, because we have virtually the same temperature or whatever with Nigeria, with India. So, they marvel, they have the highest number of sickle cell. And they say, you mean from this herb, you are able to arrive at this? At least 3 of them differently had come to us here from India that they want to team up with us. And if I may go back a little bit, in 2008, US wanted us to come over to US. They came looking for us. They couldn't locate us. They now went to the Ministry of Science and Technology, who now gave us letter to them at the embassy. Immediately I got there and said, we are going abroad. If you are the producer of this. So, what are we talking about? This drug is not just for coronavirus, it protects you from every other area. You are talking of fever? Yes, scientifically proven. Throat infection? Yes, scientifically proven. Hepatitis? Yes, scientifically proven. So what do you want to? It's a package of this. In fact, a doctor, medical doctor in Nigeria, who happens to read about it, came and collected this. We sell it for 2,000 naira. Came and collected 3 bottles and went to Lafia and sold it for 100,000 to the patient there. And the patient was saying, "Thank you, please can I get more?" He refused to pick his call. A medical doctor. So what are we talking about? This helps Nigerians.
The institute noted that the products of its research stood tall among other nations, and the benefits are far-reaching in a lifetime, and calls on the federal government to patronize ESOMARON herbal products during this period of the lockdown, also adding that all Nigerians are together on this within this period of the lockdown.
It's like your food. Despite the fact that it's not only one herb, we combine other herbs. Okay, it's 20 ml. We don't even allow you to take a spoon because your spoon is different from our spoon. You understand? We have a measuring cup that is graduated. Morning, evening, if it is just for immune boosting. Then, if it is infected, it becomes 6 hours low. We wrote it there. We wrote it there. Because it takes care of people that have fever, they take it. So many areas, they take it. Blood pressure, they take it. Even diabetes, and they take it, and they are all right. They may call it Bobo Niche or whatever. Yes, it contains it. Some of them will say, no, you don't have dosage. I've just told you about our dosage. Only telling us, please, invest inward. Look inward. The herbal product is there. Is there. You see? See, what we've been discussing is majorly from this herb. Majorly from this herb. And for some of you to show us that it is not that we are hiding anything, as they usually say herbalists do. The name of this herb is Andrographis paniculata. Google and you find what it does in the body. The Bible tells us that all things work together for good. I will one other way say thank God for COVID-19, because any little headache, Nigerians are gone abroad for treatment. Now they will be forced to look inward. The answer is here. The answer is with us here. I'm not saying necessarily ESOMARON herbals. No, the answer is in Nigeria. Please believe in Nigeria.
But ESOMARON herbal products becomes the answer to COVID-19 pandemic. We only hope that the opportunity has once again presented itself. Rather than fold up and lock up yourself in fear, the solution is not far from you. ESOMARON herbal product is the answer to COVID-19 pandemic.
Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai. Wow, welcome back. I'm so excited, and I believe in Africa, I believe in Nigeria, and I believe in what our forefathers have given to us and what God has endowed us with. Even the white and the first world countries, they base their researches on herbs and natural endowments translated via chemistry, quantification, and quantitative and qualitative analysis. And today we have medicine, we have drugs, pharmaceutical, and so on. So I will give him a chance to speak to us, and the biochemist in the studio to also talk to us. Now, back to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is now ESOMARON?
ESOMARON generally is an immune booster.
Okay.
And it helps people with low immunity to boost them up. And we know if the immunity is boosted up, we are at least 90% free or good to go. Let me put it that way.
Yes.
ESOMARON is a highly potent antiviral, should I call it drug? No. Let's call it a herbal preparation.
Okay. It's a drug.
Yes.
It's a drug. Drug is English language.
Herbal preparation.
Yes.
So, and we know that with ESOMARON, we can go places.
And it has been approved.
And it has been approved by NAFDAC ever since. Very long time. You see, this ESOMARON, just as we wrote to the Minister of Health, we are able to understand that it is able to, let me put it the way scientists will put it, mechanism of action,
yes.
That there are three ways. One, it is known that it is a strong antiviral, antibiotic, antiparasitic, and expectorant properties.
Okay, stop there. I'll come back to you.
Okay.
The young biochemist in the studio,
Yes, sir.
he said ESOMARON has three ways. How do you
Yes,
call it?
mechanism of action.
Mechanism of action. Could you please explain the three ways for us, and then you go into the quantitative and qualitative analysis of ESOMARON?
Okay, so the active ingredient in ESOMARON, as he has said, is Andrographis paniculata.
Okay.
Now, Andrographis paniculata is a herb that has been used in Asia for years. Since the 90s, they have been using this herb in Asia. In fact, in Thailand, they have a list of essential medicines. Andrographis paniculata is one of them. So, nationally released. Andrographis paniculata has antiviral properties. It has antibacterial properties. It has a lot of things. Now, the major mechanism of action of Andrographis paniculata now, which is the active ingredient in ESOMARON. So, as you are taking ESOMARON, you expect these results. Now, viruses they are microorganisms. How viruses work, very simply, is they can't reproduce on their own. So they need to get into a host, for instance, human beings, animals.
Yes.
Viruses need to get into a host before they now use the host to reproduce.
Okay.
So now when a virus gets into a human being, for instance, take for instance HIV, it uses the host, the human body, your genetics reproduction to reproduce itself. Now as these viruses are reproducing, it doesn't care if the host if it's killing the host or not.
Yeah.
It wants to survive.
Yeah.
Now, the antiviral property of ESOMARON, what it does now is to stop the process of this reproduction, first of all. And then as an immune booster, after it has stopped the virus from reproducing, it increases your immunity so that your own body now can now fight what is there and kills it off.
Okay.
So basically, it stops the reproduction. Now, viruses are hard. That's why viruses are very dreaded diseases. Look at HIV, for instance. Look at hepatitis, look at herpes. Viruses are hard because how do you stop something that is reproducing with your own normal body processes? You can kill yourself because it's using your body processes. So now, the mechanism of action of this is that it has found a way to stop the specific processes that the virus uses, while boosting your immune systems. Now, there's what we call macrophage cells. Macrophage cells are one of your antibodies, among other antibodies in the body. Now, what macrophage cells does is, it doesn't need to interact with you. It doesn't need to interact with the virus. Any foreign body, it just engulfs it. It's like it swallows it. So now, ESOMARON boosts your immune system, boosts your macrophage cells. So when the viruses in the body have stopped reproducing, the macrophage cells just swallow it up, swallows everything up, and is excreted. That is the major mechanism of action. Now, like I said, because viruses work on the human processes, so how can you administer a drug that has the chance of killing your own body too, since it's working with your processes? So that has been the major, should I say, the major setback of viruses. If you look at bacteria, if you look at malaria and other things, you know, these other microorganisms, their diseases that they cause, it's very easy to tackle them because they don't use your body processes. So you can just develop a drug that targets particularly what, you know, the microorganism is doing, and it kills it off. But viruses are using your own human processes. So how do you do that? But Andrographis paniculata, it has been used for years. In fact, since the 1900s. The Chinese, specifically in Asia, China has one of the largest cultivation. China, India, they have one of the largest cultivation of Andrographis paniculata. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Back to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
You began this research work 20 years ago.
Yes.
What has been your challenge with the government? And right now we have COVID-19 all over the world as a pandemic. Are you willing, if the government call upon you, to work with them, to offer them solution?
We are very willing. This is my country.
Okay.
I cannot run away from it. In fact, that is why when US came calling, which other Nigerians won't throw away, I threw it away.
You don't mean it?
I threw it away in 2008.
Okay.
So let us go. And they just got information on just one of our products, which was the sickle cell drug.
Okay.
So, you see, I love the government. I love Nigeria. But unfortunately, Nigerians don't believe in themselves. If perchance I was in US and now speaking, in fact, the next available flight, if it is possible, Nigeria will organize it and say, please come.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
But what we are talking about is, let's believe in ourselves.
Exactly. The president even said we should patronize local content and manufacture and produce whatever we need here.
We have it. We have it here. We have it.
And now that they can't fly abroad for solutions, and
please let us develop our own.
You are 100% positive you could give Nigeria a solution as regard COVID-19.
Yes.
All right. The lines are open for you to call us and give us your own opinion of what you think about ESOMARON, and the man in the studio and the young biochemist will also give you answer, including myself. The numbers to call, don't forget, if you are calling from abroad, put the country code, which is +234. And if you are calling from within Nigeria, the numbers are 081-3701-5949 and 070-5432-7616 as displayed on your screen. We'll be ready. While we expect calls to come in, we will continue the analysis. Now, he happens to be your son, from the surname myself.
Yes.
Because I was looking for a biochemist and you said you have one.
Yes.
I'm proud of it.
Because I want, unlike a herbalist idea, when they die, everything they have dies with them. I want this to be planted, and that is why we have to go for an institute, so that we can even train some other people, so that they'll be able to plant this in Nigeria.
Okay.
That's why, in fact, we sent him. If not, he was very much qualified to be a medical doctor.
Okay.
He even got admission. We paid, we did advance payment at this, what do you call it? American University in Gambia. We paid deposit. But friends persuaded me that, please, let him read by...
hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, hello. Good morning, Mr. Spectacle.
Good morning, Mr. Moses. I could see your name here.
Okay. It's good to hear you again and the wonderful guests in the studio.
All right.
Discussing on this very sensitive matter. First of all, I want to commend you. You've been making a very good show, and I've been a very religious viewer of your show.
Moses, where is your location now?
Okay, I want to make my take on this discussion.
Okay. said, are you calling from Abuja here? Because we've not seen you lately today.
Yes, I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay.
Jadi precisely.
Okay.
I'm calling from Jadi precisely.
Okay.
Okay, I want to lend my voice on the discussion today. Okay.
Tell them to do that. Go ahead, Mr. Moses. We lost him. All right. While we wait for more calls, we can still, take on you. You were describing something about your son.
Yes.
That he had wanted to be a medical doctor.
Yes.
He paid for University of America.
Yes.
And where eventually he ended up his career.
He now had to go to University of Ilorin, where he read biochemistry.
Okay.
Because the idea is that he should be grounded in the herbal area.
Okay.
And by the grace of God, very soon.
All right. To take after you.
Yes. Very soon.
Hello, Mr. Bright. I can hear you.
Am I on to spectacle?
Yes, you're on to spectacle. Give us your take, Solomon.
I'm calling from Jos.
Okay.
I'm calling from Jos.
Yes, I could hear you loud. Please, we are talking about ESOMARON, a possible solution for COVID-19.
Hello.
We can hear you loud and clear. Anyway, they'll call back. I think he was one of us. They are always watching our program. Now, you were saying something about we'll come to his personality profile this time, and even yourself, your personality profile, how you began and how you diverted from being an architect to a herbal researcher. We'll be interested. I believe the world will also be interested in that particular. Okay, let's take this call quickly. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you are calling from, please.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Victor. I'm calling from Yanakpaja, Lagos.
Okay, Victor from Yanakpaja, Lagos. Please give us your take on the topic on discussion. We have possible solution in Nigeria. ESOMARON.
Yes, definitely. I've been following the program, and so far I can say that first, I'm a bit kind of happy that these kind of solutions are coming out from Nigeria by Nigerians and within Nigeria. Now, there's an issue that I actually have with the kind of government that we run, but let me just digress a bit and then come back, is the fact that we are people that don't take research, science and technology very seriously. Now, there's an agency under the Ministry of Science and Technology called the National Data Technology and Incubation Board, something like that. What they're supposed to do is like what this man, the Reverend there has done. Like if you have an innovation, you come to them, they fund you, establish you until you are able to stand on your own. But as I'm speaking to you now, if you go to their center at Ogba, that place is literally empty, and I'm sure that is the same situation in every of their centers across the country. It means nothing is going on. Few weeks ago, the Minister of Science came out and said somebody that can make a research about something and then find a solution, the government will give the person a grant of $3 million. You don't do things like that. What you do is you give people money, you fund research, because these people are the ones that bring solution. You go to America, the government has been funding research how they can find cure for coronavirus. That is why every American citizen always look up to Trump. If you remember, few weeks ago, they were looking up to Trump to say, Trump was saying, if we use this, if we use that, this will cure. It's because they are getting
Yeah, Mr. Victor, Mr. Victor, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
The center at Ogba, what name did you call it again?
I will try to get the name later, but I think it's not about National Technology and Incubation Board.
Okay.
It's like that. It's an agency under the Ministry of Science and Technology.
All right. Thank you.
So I was saying that we need to find our own unique way to solve the solution. So if this product now that is on the product that this man has produced is going to cure coronavirus, even if our government does not believe, let it give it a try. If it doesn't work, then they will say, okay, it has not tried. Now, this is one way of actually supporting and promoting our own product. It's also going to give that kind of courage, encouragement to other people to also come out and do this. Now, the thing is, nobody has actually funded his research. For him to have gone to research and bring up this. And now that he has done it with his own money, sweat, and time, the best that we can do is give him time. My own advice to anybody, whether you have coronavirus or you know somebody that has coronavirus, let them have a trial of this. A trial, it's too hot, it will kill you. At this point, you don't have anything to lose, basically. So, if you are watching this,
Victor, we have gotten your point, you've driven your point, and I think the government and the people in the studio were listening to you. Let's take a call from John Peggy, who actually went for this documentary, and see what he has to say. Peggy, if you are... Thank you very much. Now, have you been founded by the government at all, at any level?
Yes.
Okay.
I will say yes, because when they discovered that this drug, especially the sickle cell drug, is able to change the genotype to AA, not even AS, after 2 months of use.
Yes.
Science and Tech decided to gather some scientists.
Okay.
So I'm saying yes because they brought out money for the scientists to now ask to find out what will it cost the government to do a proper clinical trial and verify can genotype change.
Okay.
And the scientists gave a complete package to the government.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it ended there.
All right. Let's hear from your man, John Peggy. I think he too, John Peggy is supposed to be in studio here, but because of your program, he has to call to contribute his quota. John Peggy, you are live on TVN Spectacle, and of course, being the handler of the documentary, you know. Give us your contribution.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. I know you've been itching to be in the studio with us, but unfortunately, you could call from outside.
Yes, I had an appointment, at NAFDAC.
All right.
I went to NAFDAC. I'm right now there so that I'll be able to, they're watching this program right now live.
All right. Thank you very much, John Peggy. I believe you. I know what you can do.
Yes.
Now, what advice would you have for the federal government?
Well, the advice I will have to the federal government is the federal government should stop playing politics with traditional medicine.
All right.
That God has given the opportunity that every drug comes from plants, that it is also God's intention that drugs can be manufactured from these herbs. So if a very beautiful and laudable this that Solomon is doing, they should stop playing politics and looking at their interests and support this man, Dr. Solomon Balothamini.
All right, thank you very much, John Peggy.
Apart from that, someone else here is just seeking my attention to find out how much is the cost of that particular drug that is made from agropolis and panelota.
All right, we will provide his telephone numbers on the screen. We'll call the numbers before we end the program, so that anybody who is watching us from any part of the world could reach him.
Yes, we should reach them because they want to make orders.
All right, thank you very much, John Peggy.
Thank you.
Calling from NAFDAC. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mm.
They had to call to put their opinion for the world who are watching, and the government also the Ministry of Health, Nahora or Sagi. I believe that since what you are looking for from Sokoto, they say is here in Sokoto. My dad told me that no woman is actually barren in Africa, that there is herbal solution for barrenness. And before my eyes, when I argued with him, he proved it. About 20 women, some 18 years with their husbands, 20 years with their husbands, and even above menopause, they gave birth. With my very own eyes, I saw them. So I believe more in trado medicine.
ESOMARON is a testimony.
Is a testimony.
A 56-year-old woman gave birth to a bouncing baby boy.
And when you gave some of us the other day, and we started taking it, you see I'm rejuvenating. You can see the way I'm taking a ESOMARON too, so, and I have no cause to say, in fact, it's fantastic.
Hello.
Hello, Bright. You said you were calling from Jos, and please give us your take on this. Okay, Bright from Jos.
Well, I think the prayer that we all have been praying in this country for God to open another way for us to be able to fight this coronavirus is gradually coming to pass.
Amen.
Because I'm a Muslim, and at the moment, the Islamic family, as far as religion has failed us, churches are not praying for coronavirus to die again. The religious settings have failed.
Yeah.
I have always advocated for our African traditional setup for some of these, treatments of dangerous illness that has surrounded us. And for us to have a bona fide son, a Nigerian, to have developed such great, potential cure to COVID-19, it is a great and a welcome development.
All right.
Now I speak on behalf of myself and the Nigerian youth to say that it is but wrong that any time an indigenous herbal doctor comes up with a cure to different kind of illness or sicknesses that is around today, the federal government will go up against them. Either not being able to give them license to operate or not even patronizing them. But today as I speak, if the American government have access to this man, they are going to steal him from us.
Definitely.
And resell him to us back.
Definitely.
Because that is what they do. So I am calling on the federal government, those that are in power today. Thank God COVID-19 is even a sickness of the rich. The three best affected people are strong people in this country: Erufai and the chief of staff to the president and the Italian man. So there is no need for us to politicize things that we could ordinarily support people to bring solutions to all of this. Nigerians are suffering. All we are looking for is solution. And at this time, I appeal to Nigerians and 1 million Nigerians, those that even have money to donate. They are donating money to government to help pushing some palliative left, right, and center. I think at this point, I am calling on the federal government and 1 million Nigerians to support this man. Don't kill the vision. Don't kill the dream. That is the idea.
Yes.
But people will not, the government will not want to, do that because probably they have interests, like we are of the opinion that the more the number in cases, the more money they will beg the international community to bring to the system so that they can share.
It's true.
So let the government partner with this man and see what we can make out of this solution that he is bringing. I'm not saying that this is a confirmed thing because I've not used it, I've not heard that you've not said you have cured somebody, but that you even have something developed in that direction.
Yes.
The proper partnership with him, financial support and funding could help in, bringing better results.
Thank you.
All right?
Yeah, thank you very much.
So that is why I feel let me, contribute my quota. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bright, for that wonderful take. It's a lot of people are concerned, and these are people who want to make government to hear their voices and then get to solution. You heard what he said.
Yes.
And the government, from investigation, I've gathered on you that at one time, even the big men in Nassau Rock consulted you for treatment. You gave a treatment, and it was perfectly okay. You wouldn't want to talk about that on television.
No.
I think you have to do more by ensuring. Do they come behind those hospitals, those medical doctors? They come behind to. I also gathered that one came to get this ESOMARON from you for just 2,000 or 3,000 naira, and then went to sell it for 100,000. Just, you can imagine how gluttonous people could be with greed. Something you gave him for 2,000, he went to sell it to his patient in Nasarawa here for 100,000. I gathered that fact from a medical director who gave me your number to approach you to come on air. And if a medical director, a federal medical director, could give me your number, that you have solution to this, because I was asking, how do we get solution? And that made me believe more in your ESOMARON, and since you gave it to me, I have been taking it, and I don't have COVID-19, but I want to be rejuvenated like a young man that I am. You talk more after this call from Moses, and you see they are giving their contribution. Moses, you are live on TV.
Hello.
Moses, you are live on TV, and give us your take and your location.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Moses. I'm speaking from Jabi right now. I have been listening to this show right from the beginning.
How is Jabi this morning? How is your location? I hope you give us fantastic reports today from Jabi.
Yes, sir. Yeah, fine. Everything is fine, sir.
All right.
I have been following the documentary, and it was very, very revealing for me.
Okay.
And there was something that caught my attention. The aspect where Mr. Solomon said he contacted someone in the authority of NAFDAC, and she turned him down. That was so demeaning, and that was so heartbreaking.
Yes.
And I need to say this. You see, we need to reorient ourselves. Furthermore, we really need to reorient ourselves. We need to start loving what we do. Local content is very, very important, and I think that is what Mr. Solomon has been trying to do. But all his efforts have been pushed away. So in summary, what I'm trying to say is that for me, the national orientation is there to handle this kind of issues. So we need to reorient ourselves, our mind, and everything we do, starting from our leader down to the ordinary Nigerian. By now we reorient our mind, our mindset, then I think we'll now lead the way forward from there.
All right,
that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Moses, and do have a great day. And while you do your job, keep, advertising a ESOMARON, and then ensure you get one for yourself too.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I am no longer afraid of COVID-19. Thank you for calling.
All right, thank you.
All right. Now, you see, some of our correspondents want to have a say in this so that the proximity of our viewers will be closer, and then they can tell the authorities what the reaction of people across the world is all about. We have to build local content. And in your biochemical study, do you research in the universities some tradoherbal drugs?
Okay, first of all, orthodox medicine. So it's usually herbal versus orthodox. So it's either if you want to take drugs.
I thought the orthodox ones are the ones used for clinical samples on diseases in time past.
Now, the thing is, most orthodox drugs, I would say 90% of orthodox drugs have their active ingredients taken from plants.
Okay.
Now, the difference is these drugs have been processed and they have, some other things, and then they are formulated into capsules or tablets, packaged, and they are sold.
And they put date of expiration.
Date of manufacture, date of expiration, and they call it orthodox. While the source of it is actually from herbs, from plants. Look at malaria drugs, piperaquine, erythromycin, different antibiotics. All these drugs have their active ingredients taken from plants. Some are taken from animals. These are phytochemicals. So now the point is, herbs is natural. So these same plants that the orthodox drugs are taking their active ingredients from, herbs simply just processes it, into liquid form. Now, the problem that has been with herbal drugs right from time, why people have a very bad notion about herbal drug is it's not measured and it's not regulated, or let me say it was not measured. Now there are so many regulations for herbal drugs, and is now dosage wise. If you see some of these herbal sellers with agbo, I'm sure everybody knows agbo. You know this natural for strength. They'll just tell you drink 1 cup. You don't know the dosage. You understand? So
that one is dangerous.
No, that the fear of it since it's natural, there is a probability that it's not dangerous.
Okay.
But the fear of it from the orthodox side is because there's what we call lethal dose. So, for instance, paracetamol, there's a level you will take paracetamol in a day where it becomes lethal to you, where it can kill you.
Okay.
You understand? So now the fear of these scientists has been, since these herbal drugs are not in dosage form, how can you know when it's too much in the system?
Okay, what about the qualitative and quantitative analysis?
Okay.
Is that what it's all about?
Yes, no, mostly it's about the dosage, but ESOMARON, and like most herbal drugs now, they are giving you dosage. Okay, take so once or twice daily. And it's even more, how do I say it? It's even more active because it is natural. Take for instance vegetable you put in soup. Nowadays they tell us not to wash it too much because
I'm a vegetarian.
The green water, when you wash vegetable too much, that green the liquid, that's where the active ingredient is. So now imagine they take plants and they over process it into orthodox drugs. I'm not against orthodox drugs, but what I'm saying is we started from natural. Take for instance in India, I read a book, there's somewhere they call Himalayas in India. There are people there, they live 100 years plus. You will see men of 100.
My grandfathers too. My
grandfather lived up to 92 years. When the man was 90 years, he was still farming. He was going to farm. He was, he was strong. These were natural things they were taking. Most people lived with sickle cell in the previous days on natural, treatments with sickle cell, and they lived a full life. But take for instance these days now, they tell you a sickle cell patient, the life expectancy is 21 years. So if I have sickle cell and I live 21 years,
and when you give them herbal drugs, some people say it's too bitter. It's too bitter. They don't want to take. It's too bitter. So choose. Does the bitter aspect have any effect on any of the body organs?
No, it doesn't. Okay. As something can be sweet, it can also be bitter.
Okay.
Most plants are naturally bitter. You understand? But you can add honey.
Okay.
If you add honey, natural honey, not the one that has been processed with sugar, honey, it becomes sweet, and honey can never be too much. You understand?
I think we will stop here for today, except if you have your last word to say. And then while you give your last word, please give us your telephone number. Give the public your telephone number. I will ask you to call that telephone number now. We'll inscribe it in our next documentary on your profile so that we can further the cause of this solution to Nigerians and Africans.
We thank God because if it were not for God's calling, maybe I would have backed out. I've suffered a lot.
I learned you're a reverend.
Yes. Imagine we have applied 3 good times to NAFDAC, let us advertise. They didn't say yes, they didn't say no. So we cannot advertise.
But they approved your drug.
Yes, they approved our drug.
So,
but the drug is the one advertising itself.
And we in TVN will advertise your drug for you.
So what I'm saying in the essence is this. Okay, you say I should not advertise. You didn't say I should advertise. So which way?
No, we are duty bound. That's why you need the media. We are duty bound as a fourth estate of the realm. You know, after the executive, you have the legislative. After the legislative, you have the judiciary. After the judiciary, you have the fourth estate of the realm. You have the media. We are the interface between the people, the audience, the world, and the government. The government may not know everything. We act as what agenda setter. We act as solution to the media, to the government, and to the people. So this is what we are doing now. And since we have authority from all the document I saw in your registration of ESOMARON, and so, we have the authority to broadcast and to tell Nigerians and the world that yes, if China say they have Avigan, we too we have ESOMARON.
In fact, I've suffered a lot, but I'm not deterred. Because I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for God and for humanity.
Yes.
Nigeria must survive.
Amen.
Nigeria must survive.
Yes.
So, my telephone number is 070 33 77 33 again 50.
Yeah. You will repeat it again.
Okay. 070 33 77 33 again 50.
And your research institute is located at
Kuje.
Kuje.
Yes, and in fact, just as you talked of development.
Which location in Kuje?
Kuje, Kuchako Phase 3.
Kuchako Phase 3
in Kuje.
That is what's the name of the research institute?
ESOMARON Research Institute.
ESOMARON Research Institute.
Yes.
Kuje.
Kuje. Yes.
Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you. God bless you.
And we hope to have you soon on profiling, and then further we continue to show this case to the world as possible solution from Nigeria. I believe that as Nigerians and Africans, we have to depend on our local content and solution. We have to write our history, like I initially said, and this is one of the histories coming live from the studio of Television Nigerian under the program Spectacle. You can still follow us on our social media handles and drop your comment at TV Nigerian on Twitter, Facebook Television Nigerian, YouTube Television Nigerian, Instagram, and our website where you can watch us from any part of the world, www.tvn.news. .tvn.news. If you just google tvn.news, you are live to our site, and all the programs are lined up for your watching and listening pleasure. We also have the Nigerian News Tabloid, our international magazine that capture everything, encapsulate anything whatsoever newsworthy. Don't forget the meaning of news: north, east, west, and south. We cover the whole world for you. Thanks for watching, and I have been your host, Daniel Atai. Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai.